The research is showing that 6 to 10 sunburns in your lifetime can double your risk of skin cancer. People have been living under the sun for thousands of years. It's only in the last 80 years that skin cancer has really risen. And I was interested, there's a book by a man, his surname is Wishart. And he's written some really good books on vitamin D. And he gives one study on Norwegians, and they found that the skin cancer rates had increased by something like 200%, which is phenomenal. And what they traced it to, it was somewhere between the mid-90s and the early 2000s. And what they found, there were two factors that were contributing to this. One was the Norwegians are spending more time inside and less time outside. So vitamin D deficiency was contributing to their skin cancer. And number two, when they do go outside, they believe what the media says and they cover themselves with sunscreen. So what they are finding, that sunscreen is actually contributing to the vitamin D deficiency that we're seeing, and also contributing to skin cancer.
Hello, I'm Barbara O'Neill. Today we're talking about something incredibly important for your health, vitamin D and how it can help prevent cancer. You may not realise it, but vitamin D plays a powerful role in reducing the risk of certain cancers. In fact, research shows that people with higher levels of vitamin D in their bodies have a significantly lower risk of developing cancers like breast, prostate and colon cancer. Shocking, right? Studies even suggest that up to 50% of cancer cases could be prevented with proper vitamin D levels. So why is this vitamin so crucial, and how can we make sure we're getting enough of it? In this video, we'll explore the science behind vitamin D's cancer-fighting properties and share practical tips on how you can obtain it naturally. Whether through sunlight, food or supplements, I'll guide you on how to ensure you're supporting your body in the best way possible.
So good amounts of vitamin D deficiency can actually protect you from skin cancer. There are 2,500 receptor sites on the DNA to vitamin D. We cannot function effectively without vitamin D. We cannot heal without vitamin D. Vitamin D is essential, and where do we get it? We get it from the sun. But we get it from the UVB rays. If the window's closed and you're sitting in the sun, you're not getting UVB. It's the UVA rays that come through, and they can actually burn quite quickly, the UVA. When you put sunscreen on, it blocks UVB. So we need to have our skin exposed to the sunshine. So the ultraviolet rays from the sun hit the skin, and they convert a form of cholesterol just under the skin to vitamin D. And it takes about 2 hours to develop that vitamin D. So if you lay out in the sun and then go and have a shower and wash yourself with soap and wash away all your oils, you're not going to get your vitamin D. It needs 2 hours. But if you're lying in the sun and you get hot and you dive in the pool or in the sea, you won't wash your vitamin D away. Actually, if you dive into a chlorinated pool, that chlorine on the skin does inhibit your ability to uptake the vitamin D. So if you're going to dive in a pool, dive in a fresh pool, dive in a lake, dive in a river, dive in the sea. They won't affect your body, your skin's production of the vitamin D. And if you have a shower and wash yourself with soap, washing all your oils away, and go and lay in the sun, you won't get vitamin D, because that layer of natural oil is needed on the skin. So there are a few things that we need to be mindful of to be able to access our vitamin D. It was probably in the 1890s, it was estimated that 90% of children living in North London had rickets. What's rickets? Rickets is a bone disease. And I have a book at home called The Healing Power of Sun, and it's got a picture of 3 little girls. And this picture, forgive my drawing skills, they're not great, and these 3 little girls, was an interesting comparison because two had rickets and one legs were like this. The girl without rickets, her legs were like that, and the other little girl, her legs were like this. And these little girls couldn't even stand up straight. Rickets is returning. But you know, children suffered from rickets for about 100 years before finally it was acknowledged that it was a vitamin D deficiency. And in the 1890s, a doctor wrote an article where he claimed it was a vitamin D deficiency because the gypsy children didn't have rickets. Now, where are the gypsy children? They're not in the streets of London between those high rises where they're not getting their sun. They're running out in the hills. I'd like to add they're also running barefoot and they're also probably eating nourishing food. It wasn't until 1920 it was finally acknowledged that rickets was a vitamin D deficiency.
Vitamin D is a fat-soluble vitamin that plays a vital role in numerous biological functions, and its significance extends far beyond bone health. While most people know it helps in the absorption of calcium and maintaining strong bones, the benefits of vitamin D, particularly in cancer prevention, are often underestimated. To understand how vitamin D helps protect against cancer, we need to dive into its role at the cellular level and how it affects immune system function, cellular growth, and inflammation. When we talk about vitamin D, it's important to first recognise that it comes in two primary forms, D2 and D3. Vitamin D3, which is produced by the skin when exposed to sunlight, is the more active and potent form of the vitamin. Once absorbed into the bloodstream, vitamin D is converted into its active form, calcitriol, in the liver and kidneys. It is this active form that carries out the vitamin's essential functions in the body. One of the most important aspects of vitamin D's protective effects, particularly in relation to cancer, is its impact on cell regulation.
I never go past the true remedies. So if someone has cancer, the first thing you do is put them in the sunshine. No matter where the cancer is, put it in the sunshine. The sunshine purifies. The sunshine penetrates deep into the body. Skin cancer only has arisen since people started to eat devitalized food and they stopped spending time in the sun. Did everyone hear that? They stopped spending time in the sun. In fact, vitamin D deficiency is a big contributing factor to skin cancer. Absolutely, if you burn that skin, you will damage it. Absolutely, you can overdo the sun on the skin, and that's where moderation comes into it. There's no doubt about that. That's why moderation is one of the laws of health. But skin cancer is not because of the sun. Skin cancer is often because of lack of sun, so lack of vitamin D. Yes, 6 to 7 sunburns in your lifetime can cause skin cancer, absolutely. But there are many factors. With every case, there are many factors that come into play.
Our body's cells are in a constant state of growth, division, and renewal, but sometimes this process goes awry, leading to uncontrolled cell division, one of the hallmarks of cancer. Vitamin D helps regulate the growth and division of these cells. It does this by binding to vitamin D receptors on the surface of various cells, including those in tissues such as the breast, colon, and prostate. Once bound, vitamin D can turn on or off specific genes that regulate cell growth and differentiation. By encouraging cells to differentiate properly, vitamin D ensures they develop into healthy, specialized cells, rather than continuing to divide rapidly in an unregulated manner, which is a characteristic of cancerous cells. In addition to regulating cell growth, vitamin D also promotes apoptosis, which is the process of programmed cell death. This is essential because it allows the body to remove damaged or potentially cancerous cells before they can cause harm. Without sufficient vitamin D, abnormal cells may not undergo apoptosis as they should, leading to the accumulation of damaged cells, some of which may eventually form tumours. Vitamin D also plays a crucial role in supporting the immune system. It helps modulate the immune response, ensuring that the immune system is neither too weak nor too overactive. A properly functioning immune system is essential for detecting and eliminating cancer cells. Vitamin D enhances the pathogen-fighting effects of immune cells like T cells and macrophages, which are involved in identifying and destroying abnormal or cancerous cells. Moreover, vitamin D helps prevent chronic inflammation, which is another key contributor to the development and progression of cancer. Chronic inflammation can create an environment in the body that promotes the growth of tumours. Vitamin D helps curb this by balancing the immune system's inflammatory response. Several studies have shown that people with low levels of vitamin D have a higher risk of developing certain types of cancer, including breast, colon, and prostate cancer. Research indicates that individuals who maintain adequate levels of vitamin D are less likely to develop these cancers, and if they do, their prognosis is often better. The relationship between vitamin D deficiency and cancer is still an area of active research, but mounting evidence suggests that vitamin D plays a critical role in both preventing the development of cancer and supporting the body's ability to fight cancer once it has occurred.
So why am I drawing a sun when we're talking about bones? Well, the ultraviolet rays from the sun hit the skin. And when they hit the skin, they convert a form of cholesterol to vitamin D. What's converted to vitamin D? Cholesterol. It's a very important lipid in the human body, is cholesterol. Dr. Malcolm Kendrick said, for the first time, normal levels of a normal vital body substance is being called a disease. What's that? Cholesterol. So the ultraviolet rays from the sun hit the skin and convert a form of cholesterol just under the skin to vitamin D. And vitamin D is essential in the assimilation of calcium and the utilization of calcium in the body. Vitamin D is also being hailed today as the anti-cancer vitamin. In fact, the research is showing that it can stop cancer in its tracks and even convert the cell back to a healthy cell. That's quite remarkable. So your bones need for you to be having vitamin D.
Vitamin D plays a fundamental role in the health of our bones, not just in building bone density, but in maintaining the overall structure and strength of our skeletal system. The process of bone formation and maintenance is intricate, and vitamin D is central to ensuring that it occurs properly. Without adequate vitamin D, our body would struggle to absorb calcium from the foods we eat, leading to weakened bones, which can result in conditions like osteopenia and osteoporosis. When we talk about vitamin D's role in bone health, we are primarily referring to its ability to regulate calcium and phosphorus levels in the bloodstream. Calcium is a critical mineral for bone formation as it contributes to the bone matrix, giving bones their strength and density. Vitamin D promotes the absorption of calcium in the gut, ensuring that the body gets enough of this essential nutrient. It does this by increasing the expression of calcium-binding proteins in the intestinal cells, which helps transport calcium from the digestive tract into the bloodstream. However, calcium alone is not enough to build and maintain strong bones. Phosphorus, another mineral, also plays a vital role, and vitamin D helps regulate its levels in the body as well. Phosphorus works in conjunction with calcium to form hydroxyapatite, a mineral complex that provides structural integrity to bones and teeth. Without vitamin D, both calcium and phosphorus would not be absorbed effectively, leading to bone demineralization and a higher risk of fractures.
Where do the cows get their strong bones? Grass. From the grass that they're eating, because those dark green leafy vegetables are very high in minerals. But back to the Hunsers, that's where polo came from. They really like that game on the horses, you know, where they hit the ball. And sometimes they fall off and they don't have hospitals. They're not breaking their bones because their bones are so strong because the food that they're eating is high in minerals and they're not eating the stimulants that are leaching it out. Another reason why bones deteriorate are people not getting enough sun. How much sun do we need? Well, how long is a piece of string? It can be 1 inch long or it can be 10 yards long. It depends on you. It depends on your skin colour. If you have dark skin, you need about 10 times the sun that I need. And by the way, you can endure 10 times the sun that I can. That's where you're the doctor. So when I was in Bali a couple of years ago, Michael and I had a holiday. I went down by the pool every day to lay in the sun and get a tan. And I didn't have sunscreen, I had my watch. 15 minutes front, 15 minutes back under the umbrella. Because I knew that if I laid out for half an hour, my skin would burn. And if my skin burns, I've now damaged the skin. And now I can't go back into the sun for the rest of my holidays. Have you seen the ingredients in the sunscreen? And our skin is millions of little mouths. I don't want any more chemicals to go into my body than I choose not to put them in, but we are exposed in some ways that we don't choose to be.
Vitamin D also supports the process of bone remodeling, which is the continuous cycle of breaking down old bone tissue and forming new bone tissue. This is a critical process throughout life, but it becomes even more important as we age. Osteoclasts, the cells responsible for breaking down old bone tissue, are essential for the proper turnover of bones. At the same time, osteoblasts build new bone tissue. Vitamin D helps balance these two processes by regulating the activity of both osteoclasts and osteoblasts. It encourages the formation of new bone while helping to remove the old, ensuring that bone density is maintained. In addition, vitamin D helps the body produce hormones that are necessary for bone health, including parathyroid hormone, PTH. When calcium levels in the blood are low, PTH is released, and one of its functions is to stimulate the release of calcium from bones. However, in the presence of adequate vitamin D, the body can maintain optimal calcium levels without needing to draw calcium from the bones, which would weaken the skeletal structure over time. Now let's discuss a few more benefits of vitamin D, especially the type we obtain through natural sunlight exposure. Beyond its essential role in bone health, vitamin D impacts several critical systems in the body, enhancing our overall health and well-being. Let's explore some of these remarkable benefits. Immune system support. Vitamin D is a key regulator of the immune system, ensuring it functions effectively without overreacting. One of the most significant ways vitamin D supports immunity is by enhancing the activity of white blood cells, including T cells and macrophages, which are essential for defending the body against infections. When your skin absorbs sunlight and synthesizes vitamin D, it helps produce antimicrobial peptides that fight bacteria, viruses, and fungi. This is why vitamin D deficiency is often linked to increased susceptibility to colds, flu, and other infections. In addition to bolstering the body's defense against pathogens, vitamin D also plays a regulatory role. It helps prevent excessive immune responses, which can lead to autoimmune diseases like rheumatoid arthritis, multiple sclerosis, or type 1 diabetes. By modulating inflammatory processes, vitamin D ensures the immune system targets harmful invaders without damaging the body's own tissues. Studies have shown that people with adequate vitamin D levels are less likely to develop severe respiratory infections. During the winter months, when sunlight exposure decreases, many individuals experience a drop in vitamin D levels, correlating with higher incidences of illnesses like the flu. This further underscores the importance of regular sunlight exposure as a natural way to maintain a healthy immune system. Mental health and mood regulation. Another extraordinary benefit of vitamin D from sunshine is its profound impact on mental health. Vitamin D is often called the sunshine vitamin for its ability to improve mood and emotional well-being. Sunlight exposure triggers the production of vitamin D, which plays a key role in the synthesis of serotonin, the brain chemical that promotes feelings of happiness and relaxation. Research has consistently linked low levels of vitamin D to an increased risk of depression, anxiety, and seasonal affective disorder, SAD. SAD in particular occurs during the winter months when there's limited sunlight, and individuals may experience symptoms like fatigue, low mood, and irritability. By spending time outdoors in the sun, you can naturally increase your vitamin D levels, thereby improving serotonin production and alleviating these symptoms. Vitamin D also supports healthy brain function by reducing inflammation and oxidative stress in the nervous system. This can have long-term benefits, such as lowering the risk of neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's. Regular exposure to sunlight, even for just 15-20 minutes a day, can have a profound impact on mental clarity, focus, and overall emotional resilience, heart health and blood pressure. Regulation vitamin D also offers powerful benefits for cardiovascular health. Studies have shown that people with sufficient levels of vitamin D are at a lower risk of developing heart disease, high blood pressure, and other cardiovascular conditions. One of the ways vitamin D supports heart health is by improving blood vessel function. It helps regulate calcium levels in the blood, preventing calcium buildup in the arteries, which can lead to atherosclerosis or hardened arteries. Furthermore, vitamin D influences the renin-angiotensin-aldosterone system, RAAS, which regulates blood pressure. A deficiency in vitamin D can cause this system to become overactive, leading to high blood pressure and an increased risk of heart failure. By maintaining adequate vitamin D levels through sunlight exposure, the body can naturally regulate blood pressure and improve circulation. Vitamin D also reduces inflammation and oxidative stress in blood vessels, protecting them from damage that could lead to heart attacks or strokes. In addition, it supports healthy cholesterol levels, ensuring the balance between good HDL and bad LDL cholesterol is maintained. Spending time outdoors to soak up some sunlight is a simple yet effective way to boost your heart health while reducing the risks of developing cardiovascular diseases. Thank you for watching. I hope you now have a better understanding of how vitamin D can help prevent cancer and why it's so important for your health. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more health tips. Feel free to leave any questions or comments below. I'd love to hear from you. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next video.